welcome. My name is Madison. I am the owner and dyer behind Fleur Ange Yarns, and this is a knitting podcast, knitting update. It's been about a month, probably closer to 6 weeks actually, since I last filmed. And wow, do I have a bunch of updates for you. I have finished objects, I have works in progress, I have a spinning update, big spinning update. I have a lot of acquisitions. And I mean, I think that's every topic that there is to cover in a knitting podcast. So a little bit about me. I am in my mid-30s. I live in Ontario, Canada. I am a mom of 2 preschool aged kids who do not go to preschool. So I'm a full-time mom and a business owner, which means basically my business hours are evenings and weekends. So it is Saturday, 1 o'clock. One of my kids is napping. The other one is helping rake leaves with my husband outside. And I had a little bit of time to record and update you all on my projects. So I thought I would do that. If you're new here, things do tend to get a little chaotic because I'm not great at taking notes or making a script or anything. It's vibes based. If you've been here for any length of time, you probably know that. So let's get started with my finished objects. So from last time, I have actually a couple finished objects that I talked about last time. So this is my husband's sweater, which was a work in progress last time. I believe I was just working on the sleeves, but if you've ever knit anything for a male body that has sleeves, you know how long their stupid arms are. It took me so long. I don't normally get stuck on Sleeve Island. I feel like I said that last time. And I don't really know what the exact definition of Sleeve Island is, but it felt like it took me for flippin' ever to finish these. But I am so happy with it. He's already worn it so much. I actually had to grab it from the laundry pile because it's in my pile of knits that has to get washed and re-blocked. So I finished this maybe a week after I filmed last time. And he wore it like nonstop until I'm like, okay, no, we need to wash this now. So this is the Care sweater by Rebecca Clow, the Creabea, with one major difference, and that is that there's no color work on it. I just really liked the shoulder shaping and how the sweater looked like it fit all of the models. And so I thought it would be a good sweater to make for my husband. I used, well, there's like a pull and stuff. Okay. The yarn. I'm actually glad that I'm talking about this now because I'm slightly disappointed in this yarn. This is a sock base from Knit Picks, Stroll Tweed in, I forget what color it is. It's not available anymore, so I guess it doesn't really matter what color it is because it's not available. Sequoia Heather, remembered. And if you were here last time, you remember there was a bit of a saga getting this yarn. Fortunately, a friend of mine had a few extra balls that she was willing to send me to finish it. And initially I decided to knit this sweater out of sock yarn, thinking that it would be harder wearing. Like, sock yarn is meant to be on your feet and meant to get washed more frequently and a little bit harder of a wash than like 100% merino and different fibers like that. And I'm really disappointed with how it's wearing. Like, I do feel like it blends in with the tweed, which is nice, but there is like a lot of pilling and just a lot of texture to it that I wasn't really expecting. Like, it's not felting, but there's just some fibers. Like, it got very fuzzy very quickly. And like, yeah, he did wear it a lot, but it's only been a month. And you know, he hasn't worn it for the past week because I said I needed to wash it. So I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed in this yarn as a garment yarn, but maybe if I depill it, I am slightly worried about depilling it because the tweedy bits are not really like spun into the yarn. They're kind of like on top of the yarn. So I am afraid that when I go to depill it, I'm going to lose a lot of the tweedy bits. So I guess I'll update you on what happens with that. But yeah, it looks a lot more worn than I was expecting it to so quickly. But maybe it's one of those yarns that you just have to depill and then it's okay, but who knows. So that is his sweater. Let's see, next finished object is, okay, the rest of the finished objects you've actually haven't even seen these as works in progress because I finished them so quickly. Well, and one of them was a secret. So let me show you the secret one first. So this one I haven't talked about yet because it was a sample for the yarn collection that I just released, which is Welcome to the Black Parade. So this is the Welcome to the Black Parade color, which is mostly black with these like prism sections of rainbow. Oh my goodness, I love how it turned out. So the pre-order for this unfortunately has closed. I was trying to record this in enough time for it to be out before the pre-order closed, but life happened and I didn't have time. I really am proud of this collection, and so I do believe that it's one that I'm going to bring back, likely in probably September or October next year. It feels like a very, I don't know, it's a dark collection. Welcome to the Black Parade. It's very black heavy. And so that just feels like a late fall, wintry kind of collection, or like an October collection, right? So anyway, if you missed out on that, I'm sure I will bring it back again. It's going to take a bit. For pattern, this is the Staple Tank by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted. I actually test knit this for her in the spring using a cotton merino yarn, and I love how it fit, but so it's a tank that's meant to have negative ease, 0 to negative ease. So the first one that I made has 0 ease, but because it's a cotton merino, it's stretched out a bit, which means that I actually probably have like 1 inch of positive ease now, and it's just a little bit saggy, which is not the look that I was going for. At least with that yarn, like I can wash and dry it in like the washing machine in the dryer, and it's turned out fine. But I have to do that like every time I wear it because with the cotton, it just stretches out. But this one, I did my 100% merino base. It is a DK weight pattern, but I ended up using worsted weight and just to get that tighter gauge so things would kind of snap back a little bit better. I find with a looser gauge, things kind of tend to sag out a little bit and not kind of stay together. So I did a tighter fabric. So I hit gauge with the worsted, but it's just a tighter fabric than my other one. And I did 4 inches of negative ease, which I was really, really nervous about, but it turned out fabulous. So I'll put a picture of me wearing it. I could not be happier with the fit. It looks so nice. I'm so happy with it. Because it's negative ease, I did end up doing bust darts, which she walks you through in the pattern, like how to add them and like where to do it and how to do it. So you can kind of see like the curve here is where I did the bust darts. If I ever do, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to do a negative ease garment again, but when I do negative ease garments in the future, I am definitely going to add bust darts because it just helps the fit so much. Because when you have negative ease, things are kind of stretching, which means they get shorter. And because I have a bust, things like it takes up more fabric. And so when that happens, it kind of like it hits here on your stomach and hits down here on your back. And so with the bust darts, it kind of evens that out so that you just get a nice even hem all the way around. What else about this? So it's worked flat at the top, and then once you do all of the shaping, you connect it in the round. And so when you're working flat, you're working back and forth, which means if you have a color, like you'll see, I'll show you here, if you can see here, like this one starts with the purple and goes to the yellowy, no, to the blue. It starts with the purple and goes to the blue. And then right below it, it starts with the blue and goes to the purple. So that's because you're working back and forth. So when I connected in the round, now suddenly you're going in the same direction. So what I ended up doing is joining my second ball and using it from the other direction. So you're going in the same direction, but the yarn, the way that you're using the yarn is from the opposite direction. So I get the back and forth still. I did helical knitting, which helped with the pooling. It looks like it's a little bit more regular at the bottom, but it's not like a weird stripy pooling in a way that I didn't like. Like, I think it looks very similar to the rest of it, like especially down the back. I think you can see like it, I just really like how it pooled and how it worked. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. It'll be a nice layering piece, like 100% merino tank. I'm probably not going to get much use out of it in the summertime because it is so humid here, but it'll be a perfect layering piece. Like, I wear a ton of black, so over like a black t-shirt with jeans, I think it looks really cute, and I'm really happy with that. So, Staple Tank by Claire Jackson. My next one is a sample that I actually got made for my core collection. So this is the collection that is like available all winter long. Honestly, it might be available all year long. I haven't decided yet. And I just love this. So this is the Jethro cardigan by Tanis Lavalee. So I got this sample made for me because I am a beginner crocheter. Like this, the idea of doing this was just a little bit too much for my brain. And so I got someone to make it for me. So this is using all of the colors in the crochet squares and then the color solace for the sleeves and the ribbing and the hem and everything. I do have to add buttons still. I have buttons for it. I just haven't managed to attach them yet, but I'm going to soon. The only difference in this cardigan compared to the pattern is there's one less row of granny squares at the bottom. So it's a little bit more cropped than the full length pattern, but I really love how it fits. It fits me perfectly. This is like the largest sample that I've ever commissioned before. And it was so lovely to work with my sample maker. It's a fellow Canadian, and it was just a fabulous experience, and it fits me so good. Like, for not having me, like, she lives in Nova Scotia, I believe, Nova Scotia. And so like, it's not like she was close to me and I could try it on as we went or anything like that. Like, it was based on my measurements and the size that we chose, and just dreams and a prayer. And it worked, and I'm so happy. So really, really happy about that. And hopefully I'll have put up a picture of me wearing it. I don't have like many details about this pattern because I mean, I don't even own this pattern. I, sent it to my sample maker and she did everything, but it turned out fabulous and I love it so much. I haven't posted about this on Instagram yet because I've just been so busy with my Black Parade collection, but this is going to be coming to Instagram soon. So little sneak peek for you. I feel like I've been talking really fast and maybe, that's loud. I feel like I've been talking really fast and maybe not giving you a ton of details about everything, but it is what it is. Doing my best. Okay, my next finished object is actually something that was a swatch in my last episode. And now it's done. Oh, I'm so happy. Look at this. This is a test again for Claire Jackson because I absolutely love testing for Claire. It is the Ever After vest. So I believe she has a sweater and maybe a cardigan, or maybe just a sweater. I'm not 100% sure. But it's just this basic vest pattern. But I decided to lengthen it and turn it into a dress, and I am thrilled. I got pictures of it the other day and it just looks so nice. It's the perfect length. I mean, if I had enough yarn, I was playing a little bit of yarn chicken because I only had 4 skeins of the DK weight. I had lots of the Surrey left over because I had 2 full skeins of the Surrey, but I only had 4 skeins of the DK weight. And then I ended up using, for the hem, I actually needed to dip into one of the minis that I had already dyed up. It's a fingering weight that I held double for the hem. And I wish that I had, like if this hem had been like double the width, I think it would have looked even better. But I've had this idea in my brain to make a knitted all over cable dress, which now like I feel very confident that I'll be able to do. And now I know like how much yarn I'll need and like how much extra over top of like the pattern recommendations and stuff. So when I saw this test go up, I'm like, this is perfect. This is kind of like a blank slate to try it out. And I'm really, really happy with how it worked out. And honestly, if I wear this enough times, it's superwash and alpaca, so I'm sure it'll stretch out after I wear it a few times. Like if I could have had 2 extra inches, that would have been just that much more perfect, but I'm sure I'll get that at some point over the course of the life of this sweater dress. Sweater vest dress. This is a worsted weight project, worsted weight gauge, which it's 18 stitches over 24 rows or 26 rows maybe. I'll put the pattern information up on the screen. All of the edges are 2x2 ribbing, which I really like. The back shoulder detail is just like a couple rows of garter, which I really like. It's simple but effective. And yeah, I'm just really thrilled with how it turned out. I feel like it's a very like 90s vibe, like a 90s kind of outfit in the picture that I put up, but in a way that I love. Like I'm a 90s kid, so obviously I'm gonna like 90s stuff. I don't know if there's much else to say about this. I feel like people can always talk forever about their patterns or their projects, and I'm like, no notes. It's a great pattern. It should be coming out, I don't think it's coming out till January. We have until like the middle of December to finish the test. It's November 22nd right now, so like 3 more weeks, and I finished a dress and I finished a second sample. That's why I love testing for Claire so much, because there is so much time that I don't feel stressed, and like it always makes me want to finish that much faster because I'm just excited about it and not stressed. And so when I'm stressed about something, I tend to avoid it, and when I'm not stressed about stuff is when I want to work on it. So that's what I did, and it's so soft. Now the alpaca, this is my old alpaca base, which I had a couple skeins left over, so I'm just like, let's use it up in a project for me. And it is a little bit scratchier than my new alpaca base, so I'm really happy with my new alpaca base. But this is a layering piece. Like I'm never gonna wear this dress on its own. It's a winter knitted dress, so I wear it over tights and a turtleneck or a long sleeve t-shirt or something. So like it's not going to bother me with a layer in between it and my skin, but it is a little bit scratchier. But it is so warm, so it's going to be great for this winter. And now I'm like, I have a friend who knits, that like one that lives within driving distance of me, so we need to do like a knitting date and go out for like tacos and margaritas and knitting and have fun. Okay, so the next finished object I have is, okay, so this is partially a spinning update and partially a finished object, because in my last podcast, this was fiber that I hadn't even plied together yet. It was 3 plies of my hand-dyed BFL fiber, and I finished it and I plied it together. And then I decided that I wanted to have a hand spun vest. And like I've only been spinning, like I've only recently got my electric spinning wheel. I have a Dreaming Robots EE 6.1 or 6.2 or whatever the newer one is. And I've had it, I got it earlier this year, so I've had it for almost a year, but not quite. So I'm very new to like spinning larger quantities, and I wanted to do a sweater spin, but that is a lot of yarn. And so I decided to do a sweater vest spin, and this worked out perfectly. Now, because I did a 3-ply, I was thinking that I was going to get a worsted gauge, but it didn't plump up as much as I expected it to. So I got closer to probably a DK weight, but I held it with a strand of fluff, and that got me gauged perfectly with a really, really nice fabric. And I think holding it with a single color of fluff kind of just helped mellow out some of the striping and some of the like you can see there's like some more like brighter green and stuff like that. So I held it with one strand of my green brushed merino silk, and it worked out. I don't have any pictures of this because it just dried off the blocking mats, but I can put it on. I'm actually a little chilly, so maybe I'll just wear it for the rest of the episode. So this is, again, it's the Ever After vest. So it's exactly the same as the dress that I did, just it's the vest version. So it's got the 2x2 edges. I like that the armholes are not too deep, but they're deep enough that it's a good layering piece. I had enough yarn that I did the hem quite a bit deeper on this vest, which makes me happy because it's like a proper true length vest. I find that I keep trying to make like full length sweaters and then accidentally cropping them more than I thought I did, or playing yarn chicken and having to crop stuff. So my goal for like my next few sweaters is to make sure that they are like really full length, hip length, butt length, cozy sweaters. So I'm happy with that. And yeah, I mean, that's basically all there is again to say about this. Okay, so my next finished object is an older finished object. I finished this in like the early spring, like February, for my Shrek collection. I just wanted to have like a simple one skein project to show off Dragon's yarn from my Shrek collection. So this is, it's actually a pattern that I'm writing up. So I finished it in February, but then like I used it as a sample and I didn't want to get it all messy, so I didn't really wear it. But as soon as it got a little bit cooler out, I started grabbing it because I don't know, I feel like I've never really been a cowl person, but with kids it's so handy to just be able to like put this on and not have to worry about it. Like I'm not fighting with a scarf, or like when I bend over I'm not worried that it's gonna fall off or anything like that. So I've been grabbing it a lot, and it's really, really just kind of perfect, and I really like it. And it's simple enough that it's not like a super complicated knit, but there's enough things to keep your interest. And because it's kind of striped with the texture, it's kind of like potato chippy, right? Like you just want to like, okay, well, I only have to knit so many rows and then I get to do like a little bit of lace. And then once that's done, you know, like you just keep going and you want to go to the next repeat and the next repeat. So I wrote up the pattern and I have somebody testing it, but I decided to, so this kind of goes into my works in progress now, but I decided to do another sample of it. So this is using one of my Black Parade yarns. It came out just a little bit, it didn't come out quite the color that I wanted it to, so I just decided to use it. You can see I had some stitch markers for the collection too. I don't know if you can see it. This is like a little Converse shoe, which I'm kind of surprised. Like, I thought that people would like the stitch markers more than they did, but I still have quite a few left. So if you like them, they're still in my shop. So you can still buy them. But yeah, I wanted to do another sample because, again, this is my old worsted base. This is my new worsted base, and I wanted to make sure the yardage is a little bit different between the two bases. So I wanted to make sure that the pattern all worked again for the one skein. Because I love just one skein projects, especially for hand dyed yarn. It's nice to know that you can do an entire project with one skein. It's a little bit more cost effective than buying like an entire sweater quantities of something. And I want this to be it'll be a free pattern. It's just one size. You can always like adjust it. You can adjust it very easily if you would like to make it a different size, but I'm just going to release it as a free one size pattern. And I want it to come out in probably like the middle of January-ish, because Shrek 2 is coming in hopefully February. I still have to double check. So Shrek is a collection I did in collaboration with Catherine of Creation Miss Couture. She is another Canadian dyer, and we collaborated and did a Shrek collection. And now we're going to do Shrek 2 because there's so many more characters and more fun stuff to explore in Shrek 2. So I'd like the free pattern to come out before that collection comes out to give people an option of something that they can do with one skein of worsted weight yarn. So that is that work in progress. The next one is a sweater for my oldest. This is Knit Picks. I have some right here. Let's see, Provincial Tweed, but in a different color, obviously, the red color. I don't remember what it's called. Now, they say that it's a worsted weight. It's more like a DK weight to me. I would have a really hard time getting a worsted weight gauge with this yarn. I am knitting the Scorned sweater by Claire Jackson, Perfectly Knotted. It's a sweater, I think I showed it off last time, my like orangey striped one. So it's still in testing. I think it's coming like next week. But I decided to cast on the smallest size. I added a little detail down the shoulder detail, and it's going to go down the sleeve. I'm knitting this a little bit off gauge, so it's going to be a little bit smaller than the smallest size, which is still going to be too big for my son. But the nice thing about kids is they grow really fast. That's kind of an unfortunate thing. So I figure if I can knit him a sweater that is a little bit big, it'll fit him, you know, hopefully for a year or two. We'll see. But I had 2 skeins of this yarn, and it's enough for a sweater his size. So I thought I would knit him one. I'm connected in the round, so now I just, you know, have to knit forever again. I mean, it's not like I have to knit forever, but you'd be surprised at how long toddlers' bodies are. Like, I feel like he's mostly torso. Maybe he just has a longer torso than most 3-year-olds, but like, I don't want it to be cropped on him. I want it to fit him and fit him a little bit long so that as he grows, it'll still fit him. So it's going to be a bit long, but like, it's going to take me a bit longer, but it's a nice just in the round knitting, you know, like car knitting, take him to the playground knitting, take, you know, just whatever, just plain in the round knitting, which is nice. Again, it's tweedy, but the tweedy bits, like, they're not really spun in. Like, they're kind of just surface tweed, which makes me a little bit worried that this is going to wear similar to the other Knit Picks yarn. I haven't purchased Knit Picks yarn in a long time. However, when I kind of first started getting into like really knitting more garments and stuff like that, like Knit Picks had a lot of very cost-effective yarns. and I'm using another one. So basically I'm just trying to use them up because they're in my stash. I do like them, but I want to use them and have them in garments, either for myself or for family members or gifts or whatever. So there's no point in having pretty yarn just sitting there. Like, let's use it. And then I feel less bad about buying more stuff because it's like, well, I'm using stuff from my stash, so I gotta replace the hole in the pegboard, even though there isn't any holes in the pegboard yet. But that's okay. Anyway, so that is the Scorned sweater. Smallest size, a little bit off gauge, so even smaller. But again, just a really nice pattern because Claire Jackson is not only a great pattern writer, but also just a nice person. So I like that. The next pattern, or the next work in progress that I have, again, you haven't seen this yet because the stuff that I showed off last time, I've just hit kind of a mental block on some of it. And so I decided to cast new things on. This is the Juzia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, sweater by Veron Rose. So I just connected in the round. Like, I haven't even done a full round after connecting in the round, but it's going very quickly. I am using Wonder Fluff, which is a bulky weight, 142 yards for 50 grams from Knit Picks. So I'm using the bear color for the majority of the sweater. And this sweater is basically just like a traditional raglan, very simple construction. I would say that the instructions are not super intuitive, like especially coming off of Claire's patterns, which really, like, they don't give you so many details that it's overwhelming, but I would say that her patterns are very beginner friendly. I would not consider this one beginner friendly. It was just, the way that it was written is just not very intuitive for my brain, at least. It's like, it gets you to put stitch markers, but then doesn't talk about the stitch markers anymore. Like, anyway, it doesn't really matter. I did it. It's fine. The short row shaping seems like it will be really nice. Like, the front of it sits significantly lower than the back, which I am happy about because I hate it when sweaters ride up my neck. I hate it so much. Anyway, tangent, off topic, kind of, whatever. It's been a week, so my brain is like firing on either too many syllables, either too many cylinders or not enough cylinders. Do you know when that happens? It's like your brain is either working too fast or too slow, and I can't really tell which it is. Anyway, I'm using the bear for the body, and then the arms have this beautiful like bell lace work going to the bottom. And so I'm using an ombre, which is still the Wonder Fluff, so it's still the same base. It starts out with the bear color and goes to this beautiful purple in an ombre-ish way. And so I'm gonna finish the body in the bear and then pick up the sleeves and knit as much as I can. I don't really know how, like, it took me 2 50-gram balls to do the entire yoke. I have 3 more balls. I have 3 more balls to do the rest of the body, which should be fine. And then I have 2 100-gram balls of the Wonder Fluff ombre to do the sleeves. So I'm thinking that should be lots. So yeah. Before I keep going on the body, I am going to pick up and do the collar so that, like, you can see it's sitting really wide, but you pick up and do some ribbing to cinch the collar in a little bit, which, yeah, I'm going to do that so that I know kind of how it's sitting, and then I can just knit the rest of the balls into the body and not have to worry about having any left over for the collar. It's like a 15 stitch gauge, which I haven't actually checked my gauge. I did a gauge swatch like probably over a year ago and I hit gauge. But you know, it's stretchy. It'll block out. It'll be fine. It'll fit me. I haven't actually tried it on yet, I should probably do that, but I'm kind of lazy and I don't really want to. And it looks like it'll fit. Does that count? Whatever. I told you, it's vibes. It's all vibes. So those are all of my active works in progress, which means any of the projects you heard me talk about last time, if I'm not mentioning them, because I haven't done anything on them. Because there's not time for working on projects that aren't currently bringing me like a ton of joy and satisfaction. I am going to finish those projects. I just need to have I just needed to have something different on my plate this week. So that's what I did. Let's see. I'm going to do acquisitions. I'm gonna do spinning update first, and then the spinning update will kind of lead into acquisitions. So spinning update, I did finish a new spin, and I'm not super happy with it. So I wanted to do a sample spin of my Core Collection fiber, which is the color Delight. And I did a 2-ply, and then I did a chain ply because one of the plies had a ton left over. And this is not really giving me delight. Like, I love it, it's beautiful, but it's not giving me the color that I anticipated. Like, this is a skein of Delight on fingering. Those are not the same. That is not what I was going for. It's too stripy. It's not random enough. Like with this knit up, it knits up really, it doesn't knit up stripy, you know, like it knits up really randomly. I dyed it randomly so that it doesn't really pool in stripings. And this is clearly very stripy, you know, like especially with the chain ply, you can really see how stripy it is. So, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, but I decided to spin up some other braids. Now these two braids, these were two 50-gram braids that I had dyed up as like trial runs of Delight, and they didn't turn out exactly how I was expecting them to, but spun up, look at that. Look at that. Compared to that, like that is what I was going for. This is Delight. Like this is beautiful. This is perfect. I'm hoping that you can see it in the light here. It is so beautiful. It is so perfect. It is exactly what I was going for with Delight. Like this to me is Delight. Delightful Delight. So I need to try dyeing up Delight again and see if I can make this happen again, because this is just perfect. I cannot wait to skein it up and wash it, because I just know it's going to be so beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's just gorgeous. The whole thing just made me so happy. It made me happy to spin up. This is Superwash Merino, which historically I have not really enjoyed spinning Superwash Merino, but what I did with this is I spun it slower and thicker intentionally. I tend to be a much thinner spinner. Like things just kind of naturally, I'm not at the level of spinning yet where I can be like, okay, well, I want to spin this to a worsted weight and I know exactly how to do that. Like I kind of just let the fiber talk to me and it does what it wants on the spinning wheel. And that tends to give me, after I've plied it, a fingering weight, which now makes sense that a 3-ply ended up being like a DK weight. But I prefer knitting with DK to worsted weight yarns. So for this one, I really intentionally tried to spin up thicker, and I think I nailed it. I definitely got thicker. I think this is gonna plump up to like a beautiful DK, maybe worsted, but most likely DK. And so I'm just thrilled with this. So I really want to see if I can replicate this, because this is giving me all the feels. I really love it. So that is that skein. Now my next update, I spun another skein. I did my first woolen spun. So it's a woolen prep long draw. It was magical. I can't believe that it worked. I've never spun anything like this before, and it was just incredible. I loved it so much. And I have another, I don't really know, I feel like this is called roving, but it's not, like it's a woolen prep roving, right? So like it's very fluffy. The fibers are kind of going every which way, which when I get a braid of roving, like to dye, they're all going the same direction. So I don't 100% know what this is called. My terminology is not really there yet. But I got this from Annapolis Fiber Co., who either is the same owner or it partners with Knitbrooks, who makes like the most beautiful crochet hooks. So I got these two from her latest collection, and she just did a pre-order for more fiber, and I bought more. So I'm like, I should probably spin this up before that order gets here. So I'm gonna spin this up as the second ply, and I'm gonna apply these two together. You can kind of see how there's like darker blues and like almost black in there, kind of navy and purples. Oh, it's just so pretty. I think it's gonna look really, really nice together as a 2-ply. I really prefer doing 2-plies. Like in my brain, that just, it works out a little bit better to, you know, divide everything by 2 instead of trying to do a 3-ply. Like if I do a 3-ply, it's because I have 3 braids of yarn. Like I'm not splitting something into 3 equal sections. Like it just doesn't work. My brain doesn't work that way. So for these, like I have 2 that match, I'm doing a 2-ply. If I had 3 that match, I would do a 3-ply. So I have never spun a woolen spun. So I'm excited to see like how it plies up and how it washes and how it plumps up. Like I have no idea what it will turn into. I'm hoping it'll turn into like a DK weight. It's definitely uneven compared to like my worsted spun stuff, but that's the beauty of woolen spun, right? Like I love working with woolen spun, so I was really excited to try my hand at doing a woolen spun. And that leads me into some of my acquisitions. Let's see if I can grab it. Okay, so Annapolis Fiber Co. So at the same time as I bought that fiber, I bought some yarn. Look how beautiful it is. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. So this one is Nebula, and this one is Floriography. So this is from her Anthophile set, and this is from her Astrophile set. And I just thought, like this one, this purple, I love purple. And it has like these pinks in it that I think just work perfectly with this color. And so I think I'm going to do a color work sweater. I got 5 skeins of this and 1 skein of this. So it'll just be like a color work yoke, probably something with flowers. I'm thinking, Sorry Nordland has like that really popular one. But this is DK weight. But you know, it's pretty plump. Like I could probably get a worsted. I'm a pretty loose knitter, so I could probably get a worsted weight gauge with this. And this is 100% Canadian Rambouillet. And I was expecting it to be a little bit more rustic, but it is so soft. It is so, so soft. And it's 250 yards per 100 grams. So I think I'll have plenty, you know, to do like a nice full length, not cropped, hopefully, sweater. Oh, it's just so, so beautiful. The depth of color is just incredible. So that's a new sweater quantity that I got. I feel like I've had this for a while, but I've never shown it, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I did a knitting for Olive order. They're heavy merino. Again, it's woolen spun. I've been really, really loving working with woolen spun. So this is Dove Blue, and I got this to knit my husband a sweater He has a blue sweater that he absolutely loves, but the elbows have blown out of it. And it's a cotton sweater, so it's not as warm, and he just runs very, very cold. So I got this to knit him a sweater. And then I got these two, still in the heavy merino. Soil and Brown Bear. Again, I think I did half and half, like 5 of each or something along those lines. Maybe a few more of the Brown Bear to do like the collar and all of the ribbings in one color. So I'm gonna do a color work sweater. I think I'm gonna do Rebecca Clow, Creabea, has like a very angular color. Is it the Nyx maybe? Where it's just like very angular, and I think it would look really, really cool. I think one of her samples was very similar to this, and I think that would be a really gorgeous, really warm sweater to have, because as soon as you start doing stranded color work, like that is a double layer, right? And especially with woolen spun, like it will just be super warm for the winter. So that is my plans for that. And then, okay, so this is a few months worth of acquisitions, just so you know. Like I feel like I haven't done acquisitions in a long time, and so I'm kind of just doing them all together right now. I treated myself to a set of baby cat yarns. I've never used baby cat yarns, but I'm friends with Nicole of Common Thread Fiber, and she loves baby cat yarns. They've collaborated on like patterns and stuff in the past, but like she also just buys it with her own money because she loves it so much. So, oh, what's her name? Baby cat yarns. Oh, I forget her first name, but she does like a collection every month. And so she did a collection. She actually did a collaboration with a kid, like based on a drawing of his, it was so cute. So she did like a bright palette and a more muted palette. And when I saw this muted palette, I'm like, I gasped. I'm like, I need to have it. This is like, it's giving me 70s vibes. And I need to make like a 70s inspired sweater vest. I'm really into vests. I really like layering. I am still like, my youngest is a year old, but I still feel like I'm doing like the postpartum, like hot flashes, cold flashes. Like my hormones haven't really settled out. Also just being a woman, like hormones are all over the place all the time. And so it's nice to have a sweater vest because it's like you can put a cardigan over top of it, you can wear a t-shirt under it, you can wear a long sleeve shirt under it. Like it just gives you more options for layering, because I find that when I wear a sweater, I'm like, I'm just taking my sweater on and off all of the time because I'm having hot flashes and I'm cold and I'm hot, and it's like I can't deal with it. So I ended up, for my size, I'm like so these are 5 50-gram skeins. Like that's a little bit tight for my size. And so I actually messaged her to see what color would go well, and she recommended Russian olive. Okay, you can kind of see, like I'm kind of in like my bluey teal. I don't know, none of my other things are that color, I guess, but I don't know, I've just been really liking this color. And it goes so perfectly with the rest of them. It's kind of like the lighter version of this. So her set is bathwater, crab, gherkin, love pickles. I've been dreaming about a pickle sweater, and this, I might need to do a full sweater just in gherkin. Diet Dr. Kelp, love that. It's like a mossy, kelpy, grungy. I love grungy colors. Oh, they make me so happy. And Googie Orange, I have no idea what that means, but I don't know if these are coming like super true to life in the camera. And then Russian olive. So I did do the whole like take a picture in black and white, and I have enough contrast that I would be able to do like a color work, or I might just do stripes. There's a pattern that I saw, well, Nicole actually showed it to me, that is like, it's a sweater vest and it's color work, but it's color work in stripes, and it's like zigzag stripes, which I feel like is a very 70s vibe. So I'll have to see if it's the right. I got DK weight Merino. So I'll have to see like if it's the right weight of pattern. But yeah, really, really digging these colors. I haven't like really sunk my teeth into a color work project in a long time. And you can kind of see from my acquisitions, like I got sweater quantities to do color work. So I'm really excited to use them and do some color work. And yeah, I think that's all of my updates. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. I don't actually know how long I've been talking, and I don't know how concise or descriptive I was with anything. But those are all my projects. Those are all my acquisitions. That's my life. That's my life right now. Just going from project to project, living life and loving it. Oh, actually, I do have one more acquisition. I don't think I showed you. I got this is hilarious because this is a summer fiber. I got a cotton linen yarn from Isager. Isager? I don't think you pronounce the G. I think it's Isager. Bomulin, made in Italy. So 65% cotton, 35% linen. 50 grams is 210 meters. So that's like a pretty light fingering. I got this because I want to make a summer linen top, like a loose gauge. Now I know I said I didn't really like a loose gauge because things kind of stretch out, but the thing with cotton and linen is once it stretches out, like it's not going back, like it doesn't have the memory. So I feel like I could do like a really nice loose top and it would just be absolutely beautiful for the summertime. And I'm not really one for fingering weight, but if I could do like a 24 stitch gauge or 22 stitch gauge with this, that's pretty loose for a light fingering. I might be able to get through it, but that's why I bought it early because, there was a sale. I got it from Fia, which is in Halifax, I think. They were doing like a sale on their summer fibers. It already is collecting fluff, so that'll be interesting. But I figure maybe if I start in the middle of winter, I'll have a top that I can wear by the middle of summertime. So yeah, now that's all my acquisitions. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go do the collar on my Jethro sweater while I hang out with my kids. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.